Hey, good morning, St. Pat's. Welcome to this week's video newsletter. Hey, on Sunday, I mentioned during my sermon where I was talking about the parable of the four soils, the parable of the sower, and Romans 1, about the power of the gospel and the essential need to share the word of God with people if they're going to come to faith in Jesus. Basically, the gospel is a message. We need to share that message, and that involves words. And so it doesn't exclude praying, it doesn't exclude friendship, it doesn't exclude time, just being with people, loving them and serving them and doing good works. It doesn't exclude any of that. But there comes a point where people have to actually process Jesus and process the gospel. And I talked about a method for doing that. I've probably talked about that before in my e-newsletter because it's a method I really find fruitful and very doable. And it's called discovery study or discovery discussion. I'll call it discovery study. Anyway, basically, it's a method for having a discussion about stories from the Bible that you can use with people who aren't yet disciples of Jesus. Actually, when you start discipling new believers, you can actually do it with them as well. You can just keep doing it as a disciple-making tool. But I want to focus on the helping people become disciples. So basically, whether it's one-on-one, one-on-three, or one-on-20, whatever, here's what it involves. Number one, it's a space for discussion. It's not a place where you or I would teach someone. A. B. It's not like a Christian-based Bible study. We're looking for nuggets from the Lord for you to help you grow in faith. It's really a space to help people through open-ended discussion where there's no right answer or no wrong answer. Simply encounter Jesus in the Scriptures. As I've done this with my friend Q that I mentioned on Sunday, what we did first is we just went through the Gospel of Mark kind of story by story. And it took over a year. And we would read a story. Usually he would read it. English is his second language, and part of our purpose is for him to kind of sharpen that. So he would read, and then I would just say, so what do you think? And we'd talk for about a half hour and kind of what we see in the story. That's a super simple way to do it. I found it works very well. You can kind of raise the bar in the process by adding a set of 4 simple questions. One is, what do you like about this story? 2, what do you not like about this story? Actually, those are kind of 2 sides of one question. Let me start that over. It's 4 questions. The first one is, what do you like or not like about the story? Sorry. Second, hey, what can we learn about God or Jesus? 3, what can we learn about people or ourselves? And then 4, is there a command to obey? Or you can say it this way. Is there a command to obey or an example to follow? So what do you like or not like? What can we learn about God or Jesus? What can we learn about people or ourselves? And is there a command to obey or an example to follow? That's a little more organized way to do it, and kind of depending on your personality, you can do it either way. But here's what that does. Your job as a discussion partner is not to have the right answers. You might think, I'm nervous doing this. What if we're a story and I don't know what it means? That's okay. You can say, I'm not sure what it means. Heck, you can say, I'm a Jesus follower and I kind of don't even like the story. The goal isn't for you to teach the Bible, and the goal isn't for anyone to get right or wrong answers. The goal is to simply let people encounter Jesus in the Scriptures, and over time, let Jesus speak into their lives, let them process Jesus, and let them come to their own conclusions. And like I said, you can be an introvert like me and kind of do it one-on-one or maybe with a small group of people, or maybe you're more extroverted and you know a group of people. I watched a training video from a fellow who lives, I believe, in Atlanta, and he just had been reaching out to his neighborhood, made a lot of friends. These were people who were all his friends. They were having a barbecue one night. He said, hey, I've heard that people who maybe aren't interested in church would be interested in studying the Bible and having a discussion about it. Would you guys be into that? And almost everyone in the group then, I said, yeah. And so they started in his home with about 15 people, a discovery study. And he said, it's been great. And no one was against it, and people really enjoyed it. You can do this, one-on-one at someone's home. You can do it one-on-one at Starbucks. Heck, you could do it at a lunch hour at work. I mean, if you feel like the Lord has prepared some people and they're open to do a study like this, you could do it there. Here's kind of the steps into it. Number 1, it presumes you're praying for people. So the people you want to ask, you're praying for. Two, it presumes friendship. So this is not, you don't do this out of the blue with someone you don't know. These are people you're connecting to. You're making